Dad.
Wait, so who was there?
Huh?
Which cousins were
Are
there?
you videotaping her?
All my cousins were. One of my cousins is the one who owned the camp.
Who was it? Which one?
Her name was Jean Burnett.
Okay.
So, and
Is that
her
the-
sister,
Your cousin Jean, the cookie Jean?
Cecile Jean.
What's the one who made the cookies?
That was Jean.
Let her
Same-
talk.
Right.
It's a different Jean.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who went to the camp? You?
And Jean and my cousin Annette, who just died not too long ago. I have nobody left. Not one relative, Debbie. In my generation.
Yes.
Marshall, and I don't
Marshall.
count him. I haven't talked to him in 50 years. So I
Okay,
don't even
but
count
Marshall's
him as being
left.
part of my life.
And was the camp all girls or girls and boys?
They had two camps, boys on one side and girls on the other.
Did you have boy cousins who went?
No, I don't have any boys.
Did Uncle
my
Keith
age.
go?
Huh?
Did Uncle Keith and Uncle Leslie go?
Not when I went.
Oh.
I think by that time her camp was getting close and she moved away. She eventually, she was a teacher and she taught dancing and she did a lot of musical stuff. I also took dancing from her and all my cousins, we all went together, the whole family. Bargain price, you know.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But it was, I went horseback riding and played tennis and played volleyball. They had all the sports there, everything.
So I was supposed to ask you, Lowell is doing a family history. Did I tell you this?
Huh?
Lowell is doing a whole family
Yeah, that's what he
history.
said.
And
He's coming in August, he said, with Lisa. I mean, with
Howard.
Howard.
Okay, so there was some person who had two wives. Who had two wives?
I think that, I'm not sure, but I think that it was their Berkson father. The boys, I think my dad's father,
Right.
Pearl. He had one was
Oh, yeah,
Pearl.
one was Pearl, who you're named
Yeah,
after,
and
right?
His father was Solomon, and I'm also named after him, Pearl Shirley. I got both names, and my mother was mad because she wanted to name me Phyllis. He said, it's too late. We already did it.
Wait, I'm so confused.
Wait, so Solomon was your grandfather.
Yeah,
His first wife was Pearl.
I guess so. I don't know.
Who was his second wife?
I have no idea.
Okay. That's what Lowell was trying to figure out, and he finally
Yeah,
found
I
it.
have
He
no
found a marriage certificate.
And my
Two
mother's
people married at
mother-
once or got divorced?
No, died. The first wife died, who
Oh,
she's
I
named.
never
it's-
knew any of my
her-
grandparents except my mother's mother. She
Well, that
lived
was
with
your
us.
great-grandmother.
Huh?
Was that your great-grandmother?
No,
Pearl.
her mother's mother.
No, that was my grandma,
Okay.
Rachel
Who
Leah.
came here first?
Huh?
Did your parents come here from Poland?
My mother came from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, who came from Poland?
My dad, when he was 2 months old or something. And he considered himself an American. He never, anybody said, where were you born? In Chicago.
What was his
That's
name?
his record. He's got Chicago as his birthplace.
What was his name?
Isidore.
Okay, so Isidore was your father.
Hmm.
And
All the boys were Morris, who lived in Kenosha. He was a governor or something there in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And they lived there. And then there was Morris and Louis and Oscar and my dad and a sister, Bessie, who was a real winner.
Wait, who was Bessie?
Bessie was their sister.
Okay, and you didn't like Bessie.
Oh, my God, she was such a mess. And
Why?
She had a husband, Abe. They used to all make fun of him. He was really like a comedian, a character in a comic or something.
What was wrong with Bessie?
Huh?
What was wrong with Bessie?
Everything.
Where did they all live?
They all lived upstairs of their first store on 63rd Street.
All together?
All together. There was a big, big apartment. And they all, until they got enough money to build their big building, that's where they all stayed. None of them were married then. Until finally Joe got married, and then my dad, and then little by little they all got married.
And then did they all have kids?
Well, Oscar just had Marshall.
Okay.
And Louie was married to a nurse. She was the nicest one of the family of the brothers, believe me. She was not Jewish. The nicest, sweetest person you ever saw. When my dad was sick and had that heart attack, she spent every minute there helping and taking care of him. She was really a nice person. They had one little girl, Blanche.
So she was your first cousin.
Huh?
She was your first
Yeah.
cousin.
But we never knew them. They moved to Momence, Illinois. I don't know if Lowell knows all that. Is he doing the Berksons or the Barnett?
Both.
I don't know if he knows about her.
So Blanche moved to where?
Huh?
Where did she move?
Momence, Illinois.
I never
It's a
heard of
little-
that.
It was like a resort town then. I don't know what it is now.
If it still
If
exists.
it's still on the map even.
Okay, and then what other cousins did you have? Who else had kids?
Well, my cousin Pearl, Kenneth, and Jean.
And who were their parents?
Joe and Fanny. My mother, sister, and my dad's brother.
And they married each other.
2 brothers are married to 2 sisters. My dad and Uncle Joe
Uh-huh.
were married to Henrietta and Fanny, 2 sisters.
Where did they find Henrietta and Fanny?
So we were like double cousins.
Oh.
I'm so confused.
Okay, so those are all Barnetts.
Huh?
Those are all the Barnetts.
Oh no, there's a lot of Barnetts.
But they were all Barnetts.
Yeah.
What other Barnetts are there?
Aunt Celia,
Okay, where's she?
she was in Memphis.
Okay.
She had 2 children, Catherine and Irving. And they both died very young. Kathy was 42 years old and died of cancer. And then there were a bunch of brothers.
So this is all your mom's side of the family.
Yeah, Morris, Lou, Harry, Ben, and Joe. 5 brothers.
Who was their mom?
Huh?
Who were their parents?
My grandma.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of information.
We had so many cousins.
How do you know all
Jean
this?
and I used to count the cousins. We had about 80 cousins on both sides.
Did you ever have a big reunion?
Huh?
Did you ever have a big reunion?
The Berkson one, we had a reunion.
But that's not Barnett's.
No, we had no Barnett reunion. Well, the only reunion we used to have is Grandma. My grandma lived with us. And the whole family from the South. They also lived in Helena, Arkansas, in Mississippi, and Memphis, Tennessee. On Mother's Day, every one of them used to come up. We used to all go to a restaurant together.
How many of you were there?
Oh, I don't even remember. There were so many of them. They came with their kids, and everybody was here with their kids. It was a big. We used to rent a room in a hotel and have a party there.
Oh my God, how fun. And what about the Berksons?
About what?
The Berksons.
Well, let's see. We didn't see much of them. I had cousins I couldn't stand. Sheldon. He had a little car when we went to high school, and he used to go to the same school. Jean and I we grew up together like sisters
Mm-hmm.
because we lived in the same building until we were 18 years old, next door to each other.
And she's also a Berkson and a Barnett.
Berkson.
Jean's a Berkson and a Barnett.
Yeah,
Okay,
because her mother and my mother were sisters.
right.
So he used to have this little junky car, like a roadster or something with a rumble seat. And we used to say, "Can you drive us to school?" He lived right around the corner. He used to charge us to drive us there, to the same place he was going to. I used to get so mad. I never liked him for some reason or other. I don't think it was that. I just
I
didn't
think you
like
told me
him.
that before, Graham.
And then there was another brother, Albert,
Uh-huh.
who was nice. He belonged to the same fraternity Papa did. So we used to see him at all the football games and all the everything afterwards.
Where did you go to school, Graham?
Huh?
Where did you go to school? Northwestern, right?
Where'd I go? I went there for a few minutes.
Where?
Northwestern.
Oh, okay.
And then they had another brother, Myron, who turned out to be a
Did you
psychiatrist.
graduate from college?
Huh?
Did you graduate from college?
Me? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I
from
got
where?
my degree in education.
Where?
Pestalozzi, a small school downtown, Pestalozzi, Fravel. And the teacher there used to, do you remember Ding Dong School?
No.
on television?
No.
It used to be, and I think Eileen was at that age. Maybe that's when it was. She was my teacher, and she had a program on television of education and kids games and all kinds of stuff. And
Okay,
she
wait, so
was-
back to Myron when you interrupted her. Who's Myron?
was a psychiatrist,
Yeah.
and he lived in Michigan City. We didn't see any of them. We lost touch with all that family. And when he died, we had just had the reunion, and everybody was together. When he died, we went to the funeral, Gene and Papa and I. And his wife was very nice, and she said, now that we've met, we should get together. She died almost immediately after that.
Mm.
But his daughter came and was anxious to get together with all her cousins. And she was living in Chicago at the time and going to school. And I don't know whatever happened to her. She lost us. So I don't even remember her name. But we never had anything to do with that part of the family at all.
How come?
I don't know. We were just closer to the Barnett side
Yeah.
because we were always together. Gene and I went to school together. We went up to Madison, Wisconsin summer school together. That was a nice time, too. We had a good time.
And were Uncle Keith and Uncle Leslie with you?
Well, not as much as with Gene. I was with Gene a lot.
Yeah.
Keith and Leslie had their own friends.
Right.
They were younger. They were kids, you know. You know how that goes with a little sister.
Well, sort of. What? You're only a year younger. Where did Papa went to University of Chicago, right?
He what?
Went to the University of Chicago.
Yeah.
What fraternity was he in?
Huh?
Which fraternity was he in?
Phi Sigma Delta.
Okay. Yeah, he was telling us stories about that, remember?
Huh?
Remember he was telling us stories about his fraternity last year?
I don't know.
He had some big story about his fraternity.
Yeah.
What do you have? Is he still